Hey everyone, I'm Zach Ketterhagen, Chair of Community Involvement Committee, and I'm sitting here with Victoria Bushi, Associate Director of Community Shares. Really excited to talk about her Big Share program and what's upcoming, but I'll let her share about that. Victoria, so good to be with you.
Thank you, Zach. Thanks for chatting. Glad to be here.
Yeah, can you just introduce yourself and then go into Community Shares mission?
Definitely. So I am Victoria Bushy. I've been Associate Director at Community Shares for almost a year, but I've been at Community Shares for 5 years. So we are a social justice and environmental sustainability organization. We represent 70 Madison area nonprofits who are doing work within that movement. All of them are local 501c3 grassroots organizations that are really interested in seeking change for our community by working collaboratively with one another.
Nice. That's why I'm so excited to be talking to you this morning. But I do want to dive into, because I know young professionals who are interested in getting in the nonprofit space. What drew you personally to community shares in the nonprofit space specifically?
Yeah, it's definitely a expansive industry. There's a lot that folks can do within it. I fell into it through a UW-Madison program. I was started at UW-Madison in 2008 and went, as some undergrads do, in a couple different directions of what path I felt like I wanted to go, and started volunteering and ended up realizing that working within nonprofits was a reality that could happen. Growing up in the small rural farming community that I did, the only nonprofits that really came to mind for me were things like churches. So realizing that nonprofits cover a whole variety of different issues and things that people care about, providing services, was really of interest to me. So I ended up actually studying within the community and nonprofit leadership program at UW-Madison, and have been working at nonprofits in Madison ever since. I definitely encourage folks to consider it. For me, it felt like it was a way that I could really live out my values and make change on issues that I cared a lot about. But also people can do that working in a variety of sectors and industries, knowing that it's on all of us to speak up for our values and do the right thing, regardless of whether we're employed within nonprofits or not.
That's beautiful. Thank you for sharing. Appreciate that.
Yeah.
So everything, literally our entire lives have changed this past year. And I'm curious how the last year has impacted your work and the work that you're doing with these community organizations.
Yeah, we have definitely had a challenging last year. We shifted, as many folks did, but not everyone. But we were fortunate to be able to shift to being able to work from home. And many of our nonprofits were in a similar situation, but some of them weren't. Some of them were providing really critical services to folks. So they were still on the ground working, being essential service providers. So I think it looks different, of course, based on which nonprofit we're talking about. But I do know that so many of our nonprofits were lifted up in the last year based on the different social issues that we were all trying to navigate together. So many of our nonprofits work with folks on the ground and have solutions that will help us get out of the struggles that we've been in, and help lift up solutions so we just don't go back to the way that things were before pre-pandemic, because I think a lot of the issues that have been raised in the last year around things like housing, food access, workers' rights, education, voting, racial justice, so many things that are swirling around us that our nonprofits have solutions for and want to see us all talking about and thinking about, and not just going back to status quo in the way that things were before. So it was really awesome to see our nonprofits lifted up in the news and being appreciated for their incredible advocacy work.
Nice. Yeah, and great leadership takes advantage of crises because it's a perfect opportunity to transform and change for the better. So that's beautiful. What makes community shares different from other nonprofits?
We're unique. I think we're a nonprofit for nonprofits in some ways. We are an umbrella organization, which means that we have a number of nonprofits that we support and represent. So while we do work and exist on our own as an organization, our mission is to see these organizations succeed, and we support them through things like fundraising, marketing services, and just really trying to provide resources to help them succeed. And all of these nonprofits work in their own different issue areas, but they recognize that they're stronger together. The competition that is within nonprofits sometimes is, in our case, it feels like healthy, supportive, collaborative competition, if that's ever needed, to be able to have them know that they're stronger when they work across issue areas and know that things like health are being advanced while they're working on things like housing, knowing that those two issues intersect with one another. No issue stands alone. Everything is intersectional and weighs heavily into one area over another.
Yeah, great. And you have a big event coming up, which Magnet is excited to be a part of, is excited to promote. Can you tell us what the Big Share is?
Yes. The Big Share is upon us. The Big Share is Community Shares of Wisconsin's local Madison area giving day. It's a 24-hour giving day that happens online the first Tuesday of every year. So this is our 7th annual Big Share coming up on Tuesday, March 2nd. It's wild. We've been talking and thinking about how last year the Big Share was the last kind of in-person event that us and our nonprofits really had before the impacts of the pandemic were really being felt in the Dane County area. So it's in some ways fond memories to think back to last year's Big Share, but at the same time, it's filled with a lot of emotion, just thinking about how much we've all been through together as a community. So the Big Share is a way for the community and folks who may or may not already be connected to nonprofits to be able to do something tangible and take action now in the midst of a lot of us just still feeling some uncertainty. It's a way for people to support and cheer on their favorite nonprofits that are really doing some incredible work in our community. This giving day is poised to raise $500,000, and those funds are really critical to these organizations being able to continue to sustain themselves amidst what has been a really challenging year, both financially and emotionally for so many people.
Yeah, and I know a young professional listening to this, $500,000. Wow, that's a lot of money.
Yeah.
That you aim to raise. What can I do, right? There's that seed of doubt. So can you talk about your minimum funding request and how that helps?
Definitely. We want everybody to feel like there's something they can do with the Big Share. Community Shares is built on a foundation of believing that everybody, when we all do what we can, collectively, we can make a huge difference together. And that's been a part of our values for 50 years. So some things that people can do, I definitely encourage folks to head to thebigshare.org to learn more about what the day is and which nonprofits are participating. Sharing information out about the Giving Day is huge. We're glad to help reach more people and have them be thinking about the issues that are represented within the Giving Day. If folks are interested, they can create their own personal fundraiser for the day as a whole or pick a specific nonprofit that they really want to get behind. It's very similar to when some of us do things like birthday fundraisers on Facebook. It's a really easy profile that gets set up and you just share it out and see your impact continue to grow in support of these nonprofits. Folks can also donate. The minimum donation is $5. And people can start donating now or wait until the Big Share on Tuesday, March 2nd, where we have all this energy and enthusiasm swirling throughout the day with different live streamed events happening, as well as different prizes that nonprofits can win to help boost their fundraising goals with specific times of day that people might be incentivized to donate during to help their favorite nonprofits win additional cash prizes, which is fun. But beyond that, just tuning in on Tuesday, March 2nd, and the night before, we'll be doing a kickoff event that folks are welcome to join. We'll have things like live streamed concerts, drag queen bingo, workouts. There's something in there for everybody to help us continue to feel sustained and connected with one another amidst being stuck at home.
Okay, very cool. It was great to sit down with you and chat with you this morning, learn about the Big Share, learn about community shares. We'll have more information in the blog post below and how to stay connected. Do you want to leave anyone with any last words?
I think just to not feel like we can't make a difference and to connect with Community Shares member nonprofits, to stay informed and keep talking, keep making things better for all of us.
Very cool. Thank you, Victoria.
Thank you, Zach.